we actually have never really talked about is that second date and what to do and better yet not do. This might be even more important than the first date because that's what's going to either have the relationship proceed or not. Thank you so much for tuning in to Second Act TV. Want to welcome back Joni Caldwell Lerner, the relationship expert and life coach. As always, Joni, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me here. It is so much fun for me, and hopefully it's good information.
I hope so too. And it certainly is fun for me. And today I think we're going to have another fun conversation. We focused a lot on first dates, getting the first date, what not to say, how to get past that first date so you get a second date. What we actually have never really talked about is that second date and what to do and better yet not do on that second date. That might be even more important than the first date because that's what's going to either have the relationship proceed or not. So again, great article here about what to do, or what did it say here? The 5 worst things you can do on a second date. Anything you want to say before we get going?
No, I think it's a great topic. People tend to kind of rest on their laurels a little bit after that first date. You can't assume that everything's, copacetic. You have to keep putting your best foot forward, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's kind of what they say here is that number 1, worst thing is be a completely different person. You put a lot of effort into that first date, you dress nice, and you're so comfortable with this person, and that's actually the second point, is now you're somebody totally different.
It seems like a no-brainer. Don't show up as somebody completely different. If they gave the you that was in that first date the second date, that's the you that they expect to show up. Now, that first date, we always talk about too, don't be somebody that you're not. Don't try and be what you think they want you to be. Be authentically you from the get-go, but also put a little effort into it. Don't show up in your sweats or your pajamas or whatever, but put a little effort.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's like, don't sell yourself to someone. Sell yourself as a dream and show up as a nightmare.
Hi, I'm a sleek Tesla, and then show up as a Volkswagen.
Yeah, I did have that happen to me. That does happen, again, because all of a sudden, you really hit it off. It was fun. You on the second date, and it's like, God, I didn't notice that before. I didn't notice this is not, and then it's like over with. So anyway, good point to remember. Well, this is a great one. And I've had that happen to me also. Act like you're a couple now.
Oh,
that you're on the second date. What did they say here? Second date is not a green light that you're in a committed relationship. Don't start ordering for her. Although I don't know. No, not on a second date. You don't know what I want.
Never order. No, don't ever order for me.
Yeah.
Not ever.
Yeah, and then oh my goodness, did I have that happen to me? But don't get overly touchy-feely, and don't talk about the future.
Yeah. So a second date is a second date. Yeah. That's all a second date is. If you begin to try and corral or glom on or lock down this person who seems so wonderful and amazing, you're going to push them away. Yeah. They're going to pull back. So you want to lean in when they lean in, but you also want to give, it's a dance. Be very cognizant of the fact that if you are feeling needy, they're going to pick up on it.
Right.
It's just true. So come with the attitude of, this is a second date. I'm really happy to be here. I like this person. I connected with this person. If it's meant to be, it'll be. If not, not.
Yeah.
It's not an indictment on your worthiness, whoever you are out there. It is just a second date. Show up and have fun.
Yeah. The assumptive close isn't good here. You might be a good salesperson, but yeah, and that does happen. And I don't know whether when it was done to me, if that was like to make me feel good or something, like I really like her, but it was such a big turn off that
Well, yeah, and if you start talking about the future and meeting
yes.
family and going on vacations, and now somebody who is feeling unworthy and will go, ooh, that sounds good, right? So we'll put it that way, a healthy second date, you're not doing that kind of stuff.
Right, exactly. Here's one that I wasn't sure, wouldn't get your opinion, that if this is reflective more of the younger generation, because that's all these articles are pretty much written by younger people, or if this holds true for us, and that is not offer to pay. And that's whether you're male or a woman or a man on the second date, is that if the man paid for the first one, paid for everything, then as a woman, you should at least offer to pay your part, or offer to pay, just bring it up, don't automatically expect to be paid for again. And while I agree with that, I think there's ways of doing that aren't, in a way I feel like that could emasculate a man. Talk to me about that.
I don't agree,
Okay.
actually. So let's say he asks me out, he pays the first date, that makes sense to me. We did agree on another date. On that one, I go for my purse and I say, no, I've got this. And if he says, absolutely, my ex-husband he would never let me pay for anything, ever. And it was a point of, it was a point for him. It was a thing for him. And so I allowed that. And that was fine. And of course, it was great. But if I'm going to say, I've got this, I mean it. I'm going to pay for the second date. And then you can get the next one or whatever, if there's going to be a next one. Yeah, it's a different world.
It is. Yeah, I guess it is a different world. I remember my friend Karen. She was, gosh, early on here all the time. We both were online dating at the time, and when she would go, she was so adamant on dates that she would pay at least half, that she did turn the guys off. I think maybe she was overboard. So to me, it's like you gotta do a little gut check here, whether or not this is the emasculating thing, or it's being generous and kind. I'm not a gold digger,
Yeah.
And yeah.
Okay, so I totally agree with that. Absolutely. So it was the energy behind what she was doing,
right?
That can be emasculating, but that's not the purpose. Obviously, it's like, you're a human, I'm a human. We're doing this dance, and I think that's fair that I offer to pay the second. That's just, I think that makes sense to me.
And I did that. And we'll get comments on this because, it is a contentious topic, actually.
Totally.
Totally. Especially, and we always say on the first date, you shouldn't even go out to dinner, and then to where that
go
becomes yeah, exactly. Don't get into spending a bunch of money, even on the second date. But when that check comes and how that's handled says so much for how the relationship will go forward. And I guess pay a little attention to the dynamics of this particular relationship or date if you want it to go forward. So
this brings up a really interesting thing, because I know that this is a hot button, as you say, or a sensitive topic, particularly for men.
Right.
And I was working with somebody who started dating a man, and he said, I will be an open book. I will tell you anything, but I will not talk to you about money. And I thought, wow, what a great boundary. It really isn't her business. I mean, clearly he's solvent, but and if it progresses, that might be a conversation down the road. But isn't that brilliant? Because his self-worth had nothing to do with how much money he had. And he's somebody that probably has a lot of money, but he gets it. He's not going to be, he's not there to be your bank.
To be a bank. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's a whole
human. And vice versa.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Absolutely. Just what is happening right there in the moment, I think is better to focus on than, putting a rule around this. Let's put it that way. Here's some suggestions we just did, and you figure out what's best for you.
Always.
Finally here. Oh, I like this too. Pile on the pressure that the end of a second date is not the time to start badgering your date into committing to another meetup.
Yeah. gee, I really enjoyed myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see you again sometime.
Yeah.
That's very different from, okay, this was great. How about Tuesday?
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Wait till the next text or communication and say, what do you think about Saturday night or something like that? But you have to allow the thing to roll out, not
Mm-hmm.
try and lock stuff down.
Right.
That's, yeah,
Yeah.
male
Because
or female.
yeah, the second date definitely is a point of like a fork in the road. The first date, maybe you've just given this person a chance to, I like them enough, let's see, and that could be the end of the road, or is absolutely, yeah, I really like this person.
I worked with another woman who was like, oh, red flag. I said, wait a minute, this is only your second date.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some great things about this person. I said, how about you just, stop trying to black and white this, live in the gray area and see they're still together 2 years later.
Great. That's great.
Had she just cut it off, she would have missed something really beautiful in her life.
And there's another point here that they make is don't offer up anything or suggest something that would require you meeting up again. Like, I don't know, oh yeah, these vitamins are great, but you can only get them from me.
No.
That's not the best example, but you know what I mean? That you talk about something that the only way to do it is if you meet up again. It's actually kind of a manipulative thing that, well, I think both men and women do. So what do you say about that?
Any form of manipulation is a no-no.
Right.
It just is. It never ends well.
Right.
And they might think that offering help for cleaning out the gutters, the rain gutters, they're just know that who you are is enough. You don't have to be the handyman. You don't have to set up, you know what I mean? I'm not going to hang your blinds.
Right.
Just be when in doubt, leave it out. If it feels like it might be a little manipulation or a little needy, leave it out.
Yeah. I had some guy, he offered to hang my TV. I just bought it and he came on site because I just said, yeah, anyway, well, I can do that. I can do that in a minute. I'll, to where it was almost like, I said, okay, fine. But that ended up being our last date.
Oh.
It was, I didn't, I just said, I don't want him in my house again. And so, yeah, it's that kind of stuff that just it's not going to get you into a relationship or work if it's not going to go there anyway. It can put a lot of pressure, on someone.
The overarching truth is it's not your money. It's not your car. It's not your job. It's not your handyman skills. It's not any of that. It's who you are as a person, as a being. And if it's not for a woman, if she is a gold digger and she's looking for your bank account, then run the other way.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Who you are is enough. Same for women. Who you are is enough. It's the most beautiful asset you have.
Well, Joni, I was just going to ask you if there was something else you wanted to add, but I think that you just about did.
Period.
Yeah. I think for me, it's just, again, don't discount the importance of a second date. And some of these points really are, spot on. They really are. Again, we joke about it because some of it is kind of funny and it brings up funny memories, but it's important. The second date is just as important, if not more than the first. So best of luck out there with
Wait, there's one more thing.
Okay.
Wait, there's one more thing. I don't know if it was in the article that we talked about or what, but it said if you talk about yourself mostly on the first date, on the second date, you need to go quiet and have them talk mostly about themselves. Because it's talk about you, and the second date's you. You're not going to get a third date.
Yeah. That was the other article.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Well, I just thought it was a great point.
It was a great point. We're going to talk about that in our next segment.
Okay, cut that whole thing out.
Joni, thank you so much. As usual, we'll link to all of your information to your fabulous podcast, Wake Up with Joni, and to your coaching website. Please get a hold of Joni if you have if you want some extra help or just have a really fun talk with Joni.
Yeah, I think there's a Calendly link on there that you can do a complimentary 30-minute session if you want to just connect and see if I make sense to work with you or not. So
that sounds great.
Yeah.
Sounds great. So again, look forward to having you back again soon on Second Act TV.
See you soon.